Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. It's been a while since we made a video. We've been super busy. We've been traveling all over the place. We went to DC, we went to Disney World. It's just been a really busy past couple weeks. We're trying to put together maybe a travel vlog or two to show us some of the stuff that we did. But I'm excited to get back into it. We missed the opening weekend of Black Panther, even though we were in Disney World, so there was a lot of fanfare around the movie down there. But we finally got to see it this past weekend, and let's talk about it. So I'd like to say Black Panther, while he is kind of a smaller character to a lot of people act now like they love Black Panther forever, but he's been a smaller tertiary character in the Marvel whole universe. He's not one of the big main Marvel characters, and honestly I liked Black Panther for a while. I've been collecting a lot of vintage comics, and I have a couple Black Panther comics. I actually have the first appearance of Black Panther, and I'm really excited that they gave this character justice. He's a very, very interesting character, and I am happy that they made a movie that kind of qualifies him being in this huge MCU. And that's one of the things I really love about this movie, is that it's, in my opinion, it is one more of the more standout MCU movies. It doesn't feel like it's just a cog that fits in there to fit the overall narrative of where the story's going with Infinity War and Avengers and everything. It felt like it's its own movie. I feel like I could watch this movie and I could be like, oh, well, this isn't part of the MCU, or there's very few nods, in my opinion, to the overarching thing. Like when you see like Thor, or you see pretty much any of them, they throw in these other characters. They kind of take emphasis off of the main character, and this one is purely focused on Wakanda and Black Panther, and I really like the way they decided to do that. And speaking of Wakanda, I think this was one of the more immersive movies. I feel like a lot of these films, like Guardians, even though I love Guardians, the environment is so unrelatable. While it is fantastic, and I don't relate to it, I don't find anything interesting about it. It doesn't feel grounded, it doesn't feel like a real place. Wakanda felt like a real place to me. I mean, while there is tons of CG in this movie, which is one of my few negatives about it, I did think they did a good job of making it look like this blend of tribal and modern, and with the music kind of blending the two together, and that architecture and the technology. I really liked that part about the movie. Another part that I really liked about it was the family dynamic. I feel like that's lost a lot in the MCU. A lot of these characters are loners, or they have very few family members. They're kind of, the family is the group of superheroes together. And this one, you got to see a superhero and his interactions with his family on top of being the king of a nation. So I thought that was one of the better parts of the film. I thought their family dynamics between him and his sister and his mother and his father, and what ultimately ends up being, I don't want to have any spoilers, but other stuff in the movie, those interactions because of family, I always like that movies. I like having a family dynamic if it's done well and not in a cheesy way. And I thought this was done in a very, I'm not going to say like super original, but it was done really well. The action was good. I did think that it fit the whole MCU, having really good action, really interesting ways that they have like the car chases and the flipping and all the crazy technology and stuff. And that was one of the things when I was watching it, is I thought to myself, I'm like, this would make a really, really cool video game. And that's one of the things when I watch a movie, would I want to be like immersed in this world? Would I want to like play this as a game? Would I want to, this movie really drew me in, and I could think of like, oh, how cool it would be to be in these scenarios and play this game out. And I think that was a little extra for me. I don't know if anyone thought that watching the movie too, but I thought, the way his suit charges up, and I just felt like a lot of it had video game moments. Like it felt almost like levels at times, because the sets were so drastically different from like Wakanda to London. I thought that those sets felt very distinctly different, and I really liked that about the movie. I felt like there's a lot of world traveling, and I thought that was a really cool part. Obviously, there's a ton of overarching issues involving social issues and inequality, and while that part was really good and really well done, I didn't think it was overbearing. I think I see some movies and they're trying to be kind of preachy or too smart about it. I think this went about it in a more approachable way, a more understandable way to all audiences, to everybody involved. I mean, I got the message in it, and obviously, it's not targeted towards me directly, but I thought that they did a good job of showing those messages without it being too preachy, too in your face, and almost taking away from the movie. It still stayed a very entertaining movie, and it wasn't too educational, if that makes any sense. My only knock on the movie is honestly the CG. There's a ton of CG, and there were moments where I know that they had sets for some of these scenes, and they filmed in locations that looked, while I don't know if they filmed in Africa itself, it looked like Africa, and they filmed in areas that they could have just done it there, and they decided to make these entirely CG scenarios and situations. And that took me out of it at times. The one thing that really took me out of it was the final battle scene with the, if you've seen it, the rhinos. I thought everything when the rhinos were on scene really took me out. They weren't, not terrible CG, but it's so blatantly CG'd that it seemed, it was like goofy, and it took me out of the film a little bit. And the other slight knock I have on it is the comedy in it. While I thought his younger sister's comedy worked really well, I really liked that. It really like underscored a lot of it, and I like that. There were other moments where things were just kind of like they took out like a really serious moment with something goofy, and I know Marvel does that. But this movie felt more grounded and realistic than a lot of Marvel movies. That's why I really liked it. And when they threw in those Marvelisms into the film, it took a little bit out for me. Not a whole lot. It wasn't awful or anything like that, or overbearing comedy, but I didn't think even some of them needed to be. She could have just been the sole funny character in the movie, and it would have been great. But when they tried those little like situational comedy moments, I didn't really love it. I didn't think that was fantastic. Overall, though, I think it's a really good movie. I think it's definitely a top 5 Marvel film. I don't think that it is the best superhero movie ever. I think the critics and the reviews are a little ridiculous, having it being ranked the greatest superhero ever because of Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. It's definitely a top 5 Marvel movie, though, and it's definitely, in my opinion, better than the whole DCU. I love the DCU. I mean, I guess I do. I like Wonder Woman and, whatever. But anyway, I think it is a little bit better than Wonder Woman. I think it's better than all the DCU. And yeah, I'm going to give this movie I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. I think it's really well done. It was actually exceeded my expectations. When I first saw the reviews for it and how people thought it was amazing and everything, I was like, well, why are they saying this? Then I saw other people review it and they gave it it was kind of mixed, honestly, when the people I actually heard who had seen the film. So I thought maybe it's just pumped up because of the situations around the film. And it is, I think it's as good as advertised. I think it's definitely not overhyped when it comes to general audiences and people that have seen it. It's a really good movie. I'm really happy that they did justice to this character. Well, I can't wait to see where this goes going forward and him interacting with the other members of the MCU. Alright guys, thanks for watching. What did you think about Black Panther? Where does it rank in the MCU for you? Is it top 5? Is it in the middle? Did you not like it that much? Put in the comments below, and keep an eye out for our new videos coming out soon. We're going to try and pump out some more. It's been a while. We got to get back into this thing. So yeah, see you guys, and adios.